The owners are not prepared to operate under this collective bargaining agreement for another season, so we need to get to making a deal, and that's what we're going to be working towards.
Right now, it seems like two sides are pretty far apart.
I had hoped that the approaches we'd taken today would put us within range. So far, apparently, it's not true.
We believe, as a league, we're paying out too much.
Hopefully, over time, we'll be able to find some common ground. I hope the time doesn't take very long. Tonight would be nice.
Ottawa, Ontario, home of the Ottawa Senators. We are well into this lockout and still there is no hockey, which is seriously starting to affect the game, the fans, and the whole town.
Well, the lockout has affected us emotionally for the simple reason that, hockey is our passion, and not just the city but our country. And as a result, when we're winning and doing well, the spirits of the community are way up. The fact that we're not up or down means that we don't have that emotional roller coaster on the one hand, but it does take something out of the community. It's hurting local business because obviously the hockey team acts as a magnet to bring tourists into town, whether it's at bars or restaurants or taking taxis or in some instances staying over. And there are people who have been laid off that we know in the broadcasting industry and with the Senators organization themselves. And so it's hurting a lot of businesses in the city.
The restaurant bar industry is affected a great deal by this lockout. There's definitely an emotional mood that's created when fans come in and watch hockey. 20 TVs that would normally be watching and cheering every play are not there anymore. And when you don't have hockey, you see a loss. It's Canada's game and it's not here. And that's why I think the fans have decided to stay home.
This year's sales, there's pretty much none to speak of. One of the biggest hits for us has been no NHL exposure for any of the new products out there, whether it's new skates, new sticks. The kids see what the guys are using in the NHL and that's what they come in asking for, so that creates demand. That's the best marketing these companies can ask for, and right now that's just non-existent.
My name's Peter Goulet. I'm the head coach and general manager of the Nepean Raiders. Even though there's no NHL hockey, there's a ton of good hockey going on right here in Ottawa. We just came off a championship season. We had a player drafted in the NHL. Attendance has gone up probably 50% from what we had last year, which is great for our kids and our fan base. It's good to have people in our arenas. They come out once. They usually come out more than once because they really enjoy it, and kids are going 150% every shift. It's the best kept secret in your backyard.
But I just want to remind the owners and the players, you guys make money because you got a whole bunch of fans out there who are working really hard. They buy tickets, they're watching on TV. Y'all should be able to figure this out.
I am so sick of talking about the lockout. It's being a sportscaster and just being somebody in this market. You're in a hockey market, and this is what people want to talk about the most. They want to talk about the NHL. They want to talk about their favorite team and their favorite players. So every day when we have to address the lockout and the minutia of it and the bickering going back and forth, it's every day, like, we pray for a feel-good story every day that we can talk about other than having to rehash the lockout.
I've actually been a part of two lockouts, 1994 and 2004, but the last one I remember, I was a little older in my career. The first one I was a young guy, a rookie. But this last time around, it was difficult. The players' current position on this lockout has a lot to do with what happened in 2004. A lot of the guys are remembering what happened. They felt they gave a lot of givebacks back in 2004, and they feel that the league's in a great place right now, and they can't understand why the owners want to come back at it again. And I think that's what most guys are feeling. And also the fact that a lot of owners and general managers signed players to big long-term deals right before this CBA expired. And now their feelings is, why should we have to give back that money we agreed to in good faith? And I think that's been a big problem with this current lockout and why the negotiations have taken so long.
Management's current position with the lockout really is in reference to trying to fix costs, trying to really, for 30 National Hockey League teams that operate on a different landscape financially, try to come up with a formula that makes sense for the entire league. The players do talk about having given up quite a bit, but the salary cap that's been put in place, the economic system that's in place is working. It's growing the business, the players have done very well for themselves. Now the NHL's asking to scale it back a little bit. So I'm hoping that cooler heads can prevail. I wouldn't be shocked if an agreement was reached, in the next week or two, and I wouldn't be shocked at this point if we lost the season. The damage that's done by a lockout like this for an industry that is so small, that's really disheartening to me.
Both sides are handling this like children. I think that's the best way you could describe it. It's a schoolyard battle where at this point right now, there is no winner. It's reprehensible that these two entities, the NHL and the NHLPA, cannot settle $3.3 billion. And you have to keep in mind how much that's improved just in the last 8 years. We've invested in the game as fans. I'm a fan, even though I work in the business, in the industry. I'm invested as a fan. That's how I got into the business in the first place. I've just wrote my third book. It's titled Next Goal Wins. Wayne Gretzky wrote the foreword, and there's no question, without the game being played on the ice, I am affected 10, maybe 15% of my sales will be directly affected because we were counting on the interest in the sport from the game being played. These guys, it doesn't look like there's anything imminent on the future. And the last time this happened, poker became a sport.
Most of the people who lose out during a lockout are not the people involved in the lockout specifically. Fans lose out in many cases. Businesses lose out. Many businesses use their season tickets as a business tool. That tool is not available to them. And owners like Eugene Melnyk and the owners in Winnipeg and the owners in Calgary and Edmonton and other places like that, they lose out because of the partnerships they have within their community. And in the bigger market cities, it's a different kind of relationship because the business area and the city is just a lot bigger. And then you go to the on-ice, part of it. Ottawa made some great strides last year with their team that wasn't expected to make the playoffs, and it was a wonderful season. Well, you have to wonder when they get going again, will that momentum carry on? The problem is everything trickles down. What bothers me is there's so many other people who financially lose a great deal by these lockouts, and they have no say in any of it.
As a fan of the game, it's absolutely ridiculous that we're fighting over this.
I think everybody loses not only economically, but emotionally as well.
There's no winners, there's no losers. The losers are the people outside the game. It's the fans, it's the people that work in the offices, it's the restaurants, it's the people that are inside the rink cleaning the stands after. It's all the people that have ties to the NHL that are counting on this money to feed their families.
The National Hockey League and the Players Association here are facing potentially irreparable damage. The entire fan base of the National Hockey League are not so much in jeopardy, but right now they have lost a tremendous amount of interest in this particular sport due to this unbelievable lockout.